Good evening, everyone. 大家晚安. This is Heng Sure coming to you from CTTB Live. This is the second of a series of Dharma talks for the Chan session currently being held at City of 10,000 Buddhas. 我叫恒实这是第二个禅期开示在万佛圣城. To get us started, because this is a Chan Qi Kai Shi, it's a Dharma talk, I'm going to just do a brief invocation. We won't need to request Dharma. 因为这是Chan Qi的开示，所以呢，不必有正式的请法仪式。好，我们就赞佛来。Namo Sadanto Suche Doye Ola Hudi Samyao Sanputoshe Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. If people would like to listen to tonight's talk in Vietnamese, please go to the chat box and you can find a link that will take you out to a Vietnamese translation. And I want to express my gratitude to the assembly, to the volunteers who are putting my talks out into Vietnamese. Much gratitude. All right. Now, to get us going, tonight I'm going to transmit to everybody a genuine Dharma jewel. 我方才没翻译，就说如果各位今天晚上想听越南话这个我们的 chat box 那个话匣子里边有一个 link， 你可以查到那里，就可以听到我所讲的普通话和英文都可以翻译越南话感恩义工发心帮忙翻译。好的，我们听听玄公上人他所念的证道歌，永嘉大师证道歌的一首，大家听听看。Not that. Turn it down. Let's try that again. Here we go. One more time. Here we go. There we are. Now, where I want to go, I was aiming for a specific section, and that would be here we go. Eight, 4, 6. Okay. Ready? 8, 4, 6. OK， 大家准备听听师父所念的一首证道歌，来。了决心，自如如无
生之见理，大丈夫秉慧见，般若风息金刚眼，非但空垂外道心，早成罗雀天魔胆。
Okay, listen again. 再听 one more time from 846. Right there. Here we go.
生之见理，大丈夫秉慧见，般若风息金刚眼，非但空垂外道心，早成罗雀天魔胆。
大丈夫凭慧见，般若风息金刚眼，非当碎外道心，早从罗雀天魔胆 says 师父. Now, what is that in English? Let's take a look. Not that, but that. Okay. There we are. Here's the Chinese. 大丈夫, 大丈夫, big hero, 秉慧见, wields the wisdom sword. 般若风息, from its prajna edge, 金刚眼, Vajra flames come forth. 非当空摧外道心, not only has it subdued and smashed the mind of the heretics, 早通罗雀天魔胆, long ago it has already quelled the fervor of the demons of the heavens. Put that into contemporary singable English, and what do you have? You've got mighty hero holds aloft his wisdom blade. From its brilliant prajna edge comes adamantine flames. The heretics, disbelievers fall to every side. The demons of the heavens look for a place to hide. Took your advice and muted the banjo. What are we talking about? We are meditating for City of 10,000 Buddhas 3 weeks of Chan. 这什么意思呢？我们大家已经到第2个礼拜，万佛圣城2022年的禅期3个礼拜。And this is the time for somebody, in this case it's my turn, to come along and inspire us. Come along and give us a little bit of extra oomph for the long hours of sitting and introspection that we do. 这是在禅期的时候，晚上都有一个人，这次轮到我，来跟大家讲讲几句话，鼓励大家再用功，再忍耐，再参禅打坐，所以我就是选择这首正道歌的一首诗一首歌给大家解释。So in order to do that, I have picked this verse from the Song of Enlightenment by the master from Yongjia, whose name was Yongjia. Take a look. What's he talking about? He's talking about the Vajra sword, the wisdom sword. 他讲的什么呢？他讲智慧宝剑，智慧宝剑。And by extension, it's shamatha, 止, that second kind, or I guess the first kind, the first one of the pair of meditation techniques that make up Chan. 这个金刚宝剑这个智慧剑 是等于什么？他在就说引用的时候，它就等于指。禅，有人说什么叫禅？禅就说有止有观啊，有就说静虑有思维修两个。这个止是什么？就是 shamatha。那么观呢 vipassana 这两个。所以人问你什么叫禅，你说是两个方法。每一个打坐的人有功夫啊，会打坐，会用功参禅，就懂得用止用观。那是不是你呀？如果不是呢，那就大家好好听。等我讲完了，可能就是你了。So, what is shamatha? What is calming? It's the first half of the two techniques used in the mind when somebody is investigating Chan, dhyana. When you are meditating according to our school, you're using either 止, shamatha, calming, or guan, vipassana, which is known as contemplating. These are the two methods, kind of gongfu, real gongfu. So this is the shamatha part. Now, does that help? Does that people hear that and go, oh boy, this is not going to I'm afraid I haven't got a clue. Well, hang in there, because if you listen and if I do my job, I think tonight you might be able to have a clue and then be able to use this calming technique. Let's, as we progress into our text, let's take a look here. I've got some technical terms. Here's 大丈夫, that one. Got 慧剑, the wisdom sword. We've got 外道, right here, that one. And we've got 天魔. Those are the terms we're going to explain. What is a 大丈夫? 我们要解释佛教的用语在这首里边。OK， 请大家要忍耐哈，要等一等，我就会讲的明白啊。就是你是初学的，没听过这个证道歌呢，我相信讲完了你都会有一个 idea， 好吧 ？So if somebody might be saying, wow, this is over my head already, please hang in there. Don't quit yet. I believe if I have done my job, when this is over, you'll have an insight into this and get to use it. Okay? Stick with it. Okay, here we go. 大丈夫, what is a great hero? Called a Mahapurusha in Sanskrit. In Hebrew, ancient Hebrew culture, they call it a mensch. This is a real adult human being. This is someone who has brought to perfection the best qualities of being a human, best qualities of being doesn't have to be a man. You can have a 大丈夫 who's also female. But in particular, it's talking about the Buddha, who has his 32 hallmarks all on display. 什么叫大丈夫？无论是男的，是女的，女的也可以做大丈夫。就是说，一个英雄，就是说一个把他的人格、他的人品、他的品德修得圆满，一个人应该说是成人。那么佛呢，是最圆满的成人，32大丈夫相，对不对？所以那个是就是说修行修成的人都是大丈夫。Okay, number 2, what is a wisdom sword? This is tonight's topic. And I want folks to have a clue on this. When I said I'm going to transmit something special to you tonight, this is it. And as I say, hang in there, don't quit. Now, the wisdom sword, as explained by Shifu, is something we use when we meditate. You've seen Manjushri Bodhisattva with his wisdom sword over his head and his sutra in the other hand. It's when you see Manjushri with his sword, the idea is he is using that sword to cut through confusion and to reveal ultimate truth. 你们见过 文殊师利菩萨，他手里拿着这个宝剑呢，他坐在一个狮子这个背后，他左手有的时候有一个如意或者莲花，或者有经书，右手那个宝剑怎么用呢？就是斩断一切的无明还有邪见还有就说糊涂，就会产出这个智慧正知正见道理。Okay, there you go. Next, moving along here, 外道. What's a 外道? 外道 here literally means outside path, a path that leads outside. And it's used figuratively to mean all religions that take us outside of the mind. In other words, non-Buddhist religions. That's what 外道 is. Followers of teachings that lead outside the mind. We've had a challenge trying to translate that for years. Externalists, heretics, outside ways, any theistic religion would be included. Anything that has a God outside takes us away from our mind. So Buddhism, if you had to categorize it, would be 内道, right? Allows us, that brings us back inside. So that's 外道。那个外道是什么？就包括所有的让心外求法的宗教，包括在内。无论哪一个宗教，有天，有上帝，有所有 theistic 有天堂，有天主，这些宗教呢都算外道。佛呢，佛法是应该算是内道，因为要我们回光返照，翻修逐出己，就对了。Okay, 天魔 next one. Here's the last one. Ready? 天魔 What's 天魔? Demons from the heavens. The way the Buddha described the heavens is that that Mara, the 魔王, lives in the 他化自在天 in the top of the desire heavens. That's where the demon king lives. And that demon gets his nourishment from ripping off your desires and pleasures. So anyone who is in the desire heaven, including the gods, all the way down to the hell beings, are under the control of 魔王, if it is a 天魔. There are multiple kinds of demons as well. 天魔呢是应该说是住在那个他化自在天，是这欲界里边的最高的天堂。他呢控制所有的那个在下的天人，还有人间修罗、地狱、恶鬼、畜生，都是在这个六道轮回的下边，天魔在上边。所以呢，我们能入定，有禅定，已经到了这个色界，已经超出这个魔王的控制。Okay, ready? Moving down. Take a look here. Take a look. I'm going to take our verse. 大丈夫平慧见，般若奉系金刚眼，非当空翠外道心，早纵落却天魔丹。What was it? The mighty hero holds aloft his wisdom blade. From its brilliant prajna edge comes adamantine flames. The heretics and disbelievers fall to every side. The demons of the heavens look for a place to hide. What a hero. Let's turn that into prose. The great person wields a psychoactive spiritual wisdom sword in his meditative Chan Samadhi. Using the metaphor of a sword, its wisdom reflections burn away delusion and reveal relative truth and ultimate truth. Faced with this decisive brilliance of wisdom, preachers of gospels that confuse or mislead are flushed from the shadows. Their lack of logic is revealed by the light of prajna. The emptiness of prajna explodes the seductive allure of desire. The inability of worldly dharmas to deliver satisfaction is illuminated. Organs, object, and sense consciousnesses return to emptiness, to transience, to unsatisfactoriness, to not self, to born and dying of conditioned relationships, to the six unceasing birth and death of conditioned relationships. No conditioned dharma survives its encounter with the wisdom sword. All right, does that help, or is that more confusing? All right, so pause right here. Why am I going on like this? Here's the value of learning what Master Yongjia wants us to know about this. To boil down what our teacher gave us in terms of dharmas to use, actual methods to cultivate as Buddhists. Some people would say generally it's 心地法门. Other people point to Shifu's emphasis over and over on what he called the 6 guidelines. 这什么意思呢？如果我们这样子，就说玄公上人他呢，花了30年在美国，在北美洲，在这里教我们佛法。如果总括起来，归纳一个法门，应该说是哪一个呢？那就有的人就说是心地法门。心地法门也是六祖慧能大师还是虚老和尚特别提倡的一个禅宗的方法。另外一些人他们说也是心地法门，可是呢我们听师父讲的最多是哪一个？应该是叫我们要参六大宗旨。那心地法门六大宗旨有什么同样的地方呢？有什么相同的地方？可以把他们两个放在一起，可以等一等。So if we were to take the idea of the mind ground, this principle, and also the 6 guidelines, put them together, what do we get? What kind of a hybrid do we get? And I will say that what we heard from Shifu over and over again was, if we use the idea of the mind ground, think of it like a garden, and our mind is ready to grow any seed that we plant in it. Wholesome seeds, unwholesome seeds. They will grow impartially in the fertile soil of the mind. So a wholesome cultivator, her challenge is to become a good and wise gardener. That way, we grow and harvest crops that we want in our lives. So the challenge is to 勤修戒定慧，熄灭贪嗔痴, vigorously cultivate precepts, focus, concentration, and wisdom, and put an end to greed, anger, and delusion, because that's what we're growing in our garden. It's up to us to choose. That's one idea. 好的，那就说用那个心地法门怎么说呢？这是一个比喻，就说我们的心就像一块土，是一个花园吗也好，是一个一片地啊，就是种果实啊也好那么就说那块地呢，心地是非常肥沃的，无论我们种下哪一个种子，一定会生长 到时候我们要不要守获？如果是种善因，那一定要的可以利益人。如果呢是种恶因呢，哎呀，就守获的时候，不愉快。可是那片心地啊，就平等，不选择，它都会生产任何的这个苗，任何的那个种。所以呢，修道的人要好好的关爱，好好的拔毒草，好好的生长这些我们的未来的人生就在心地。OK， 好。Now 6 guidelines. How do they work? Hang in there. This is going to make sense, I guarantee. So how do the 6 guidelines work?师父 gave them to us. Sorry about that. Let's remove that. There we go. Master Hua gave them to us like, we're back. Okay. He gave them to us and said, instead of thoughts of contention and fighting, we want to replace those thoughts with thoughts of yielding and giving victory to others. Instead of thoughts of greed, we want to replace those thoughts of greed with thoughts of generosity. Instead of thoughts of seeking, we replace those with contentment. Instead of selfishness, we replace those thoughts with selflessness. Thoughts of benefit for myself, we replace with a wish to share with others. And then dishonest thoughts we replace with honest integrity. So cultivating the 6 guidelines is a process of carefully observing the mind and then, you could say, counteracting, replacing, curing those afflicted thoughts with unafflicted, wholesome thoughts. They're opposites. So, again, just like the mind ground principle, you have to get in there with your hands and your tools and pay attention to the thoughts in the mind and become a good gardener of the mind. So the result of that is a life that brings us blessings, well-being, no affliction, wisdom, and compassion. Finally, samadhi, so that wisdom can really grow and we can benefit others. That's how it works. Now, there's a piece missing. Could that piece be the wisdom sword? Let's see how that works. 6大宗旨呢是怎么修法呢？就说我们什么时候心里有争心争夺，争第一，我们认识不随他，就代替一个让而不争的念头，那就不会杀生看到贪心从我的心起来了，我认识它，因为我好好观察在心地上，然后呢不贪就不是增长其他人的身份了，他们多少有所求心起来了，我就不随他不往外跑，我就用知足的心来代替那个求心那就这个邪淫戒就自己持了，就不会破那个戒律，因为那个念头已经没有种然后呢，自私心用不自私、大公无私的心来代替，自利心起来了，我就用一个分享 sharing 这种念头来代替这个自利的心。然后呢，这个王欲心，我认识他了，在心地上我不随他，不让他种下，我就用老老实实的有正人君子的这个大公，就是那个大丈夫的心来代替。这样子呢，需要我们注意，知道自己的心在那儿想什么，然后呢选择不争，让而不争，不贪，不施而不贪，不求，知足的心不自私，大公无私的心不自利的心，用分享然后呢不打妄语，这样子呢 就是在心地上好好的栽培。那还有一点，怎么代替呢？智慧宝剑。All right, how are we doing? People still here? Do we need to? Let's do this. I'm about to give you the secret. Okay, ready? We see an afflicted thought about to be planted down in our mind ground. Could it be fighting, greed, seeking, selfishness, self-benefit, lying? Doesn't matter. Could be. What do? Swing the wisdom sword. Swing the wisdom sword. Become the mighty hero who holds aloft his or her wisdom blade. That's what we do with the wisdom sword. It is a meditative tool meant for use in the mind. True. 这个妙诀是什么？就说，我们在观察自己的心，有一点定力啊，心稍微清净，那个真心啊，这个贪心、求心、自私自利、妄语心起来了，如果不好好的拔起它都会种下，它都会在那个心地上长出来了。怎么样呢？就指出智慧宝剑，把它斩掉了，不让它随自己的心，不让它在我们的心地上种下，就会举起来智慧宝剑，自己的智慧宝剑，你就变成大丈夫品慧剑。Okay, somebody may say, well, but wait, who gave me permission to swing a jewel sword? Well, the answer is 师父. Take a look at the Shurangama mantra number 152. 金刚宝剑气冲天，剑冲横遍引大千，树冲横遍引大千，斩妖除邪护正法，解脱无生万亿年。The energy of the Vajra jewel sword dashes against the heavens. Seen vertically or horizontally, it fills the universe. Beheading demons, banishing creeps, it protects the right dharma. Liberation and nirvana for infinite billions of years. If I'm not mistaken, this is Dharmaster Chur's translation, I think. Okay, look at this. Whoa, that's violent, huh? The Vajra jewel sword, 冲天, qi 冲天, dashes its energy against the heavens, and it fills up righteous energy in heavens. And what does it do? It chops the heads off demons. It gets rid of xie, crooked creeps, protects the right dharma, and leads us to liberation for billions of years. How does it work? Just like that. You lift it up, you swing it, you don't allow the afflicted thoughts of fighting, seeking, selfishness, self-benefit, greed, and dishonesty to abide. You 指 shamatha. This is the calming, right? You see that thought, you swipe it out of the way. 就是举起来智慧宝剑，自己有一点定力啊，那个心有点清净，所以呢，有一个就说犯六大宗旨的念头起来了，你就认识，你就举起来智慧宝剑，把它斩。那个邪的念头就跑了，没有了，它不回来，给我们种麻烦了，生麻烦，不会。Number 208, look at number 208 in the Shurangama mantra. 持金刚神剑立风，入沙漠地真要分，降服一切鬼魔等，改恶向善，运自心。Wielding the razor-sharp edge of the Vajra spirit sword, we enter samadhi and quell the nasty vapors. Ghosts and demons, all subdued and tamed, turning from evil towards the good, we renew ourselves. There it is again. Look, 持金刚神剑立风. When we wield the sharp edge of the Vajra spirit sword, there it is. Now, that's the very sword. That's Guanyin Bodhisattva's treasure sword. If you see her on our City of 10,000 Buddhas, 16-foot tall camphor wood Guanyin, the sword in her hand is this very sword. And look what it does. It helps us enter samadhi, and it helps us smash all kinds of nasty, bad energies, right? So, 大家看了这个楞严咒里边第208句，施利难就是金刚宝剑，师父就鼓励我们把这个金刚神剑它的利锋举起来，就持它，那么这样子就入沙漠地啊，真要分啊什么的。你看，这是再来同样的意思。OK， 有另外一个，你看 ，we got another one. Look at it. 波书收和萨拉 number 220. How does it go? 金刚武器像魔剑，莲花化生七宝池，释迦成道菩提树，普度寒湿处厌逆。In a Vajra dance, we raise our demon-quashing sword, born from lotuses in the 7 jewels pool. Shakyamuni realizes the way beneath the Bodhi tree. We take all sentient beings across, freed from the treacherous mire. Okay, here's a third verse from the Shurangama mantra, where this sort of esoteric dharma is being transmitted. What does he say? Our demon-quashing sword, demon-subduing sword in a Vajra dance. Can you see have you seen any martial arts films where they're using weapons like swords and staffs? Well, here's the sword. And in this case, Shifu gives it to the prince under the Bodhi tree, realizing the way. So, in other words, have you ever heard of a Vajra sword before? If you had a chance to sit in a Chan session, or maybe you read some of Shifu's published Chan session talks, you have heard about the Vajra sword. And here it is. Who gets to use it? The answer is you do. Once you hear about it, try it out more than once, and believe that it can work. You will be delighted and amazed at how effective it is to clean up those thoughts that we see rising and just want to get rid of in the mind. 这就说1582082203首楞严咒的寄颂，又提到这个智慧宝剑 这里叫金刚，就是相魔剑，上边是金刚神剑，在上边是金刚宝剑，也叫智慧剑啊。那么这个是楞严咒里边这都提到这个宝剑。那么谁可以用它呢？你可以用。师父就希望我们第一呢，要认识自己什么时候有这些烦恼的心，好比说呢，正贪求、自私自利、妄语，这些都会生产我们的烦恼，都会造成烦恼。如果我们随着它，不把它拔起来，可是呢，我们认识它怎么办呢？那个时候就拿出来智慧宝剑，把它展开。我保证那个念头就会跑，不会继续。可能它回来，你再把它把它斩，它就走了，没有了，那就心就恢复平静。是这么用的，就是这么简单。So what I am suggesting for folks is that this Vajra sword, this is a Dharma. This is a Dharma door. This is the Faman, the Dharma method. And Shifu gave it to us to use. Who gets to use it? People who hear about it, somehow need it, and say, I'm going to do whatever it takes to subdue the thoughts that I don't want to grow in my mind-ground garden. Swing the sword, that thought is gone. Comes back, swing it again. That's how it works. Okay? Now, I will say, there are some people who find swinging a sword a little too martial. They're maybe more into lotuses than swords. So what you can do is call it a Vajra vacuum cleaner. Vajra wisdom vacuum cleaner. It sucks up those thoughts. That's fine. Call it a Vajra butterfly net. Swing your butterfly net. Catch that thought. Pull it away from the mind ground, which will impartially grow whatever we give it. 如果你觉得，哎呀，我是佛教徒，我不会举起来任何的宝剑来杀人，不会的，我是和平家。好啊，你是和平家，你就可以举起来一个金刚洗尘机。金刚洗尘机就把那个烦恼的心呢洗起来，不会杀他，你就把它收了。然后倒了，这样子不让它在心地上种下。你如果说，我不要用机器在我心里，好啊，那你就把那个金刚蝴蝶网，你去抓蝴蝶，是不是？或者那个 moth，你就用那个 net 一个网，把它用那个就收回来。我们的烦恼的心都可以。你可以说，这是一个金刚扫把，我就用那个金刚扫把把它扫，没有了那就是懂得修这个止观的止，这样子不让尘土在我们的心里长起来。这样子呢，也是那个智慧宝剑的作用都包括在那个。You can use a Vajra broom. Man, just get in there, whatever it takes. Vacuum cleaner, butterfly net, sword, or broom. In general, you want to keep that Dharma jewel moving so that you have something to do as you identify afflicted thoughts rising. The point is to not let those thoughts pass unnoticed, because whatever we plant in the mind will happily grow in the mind. Okay? Now, somebody is saying, you know what this sounds like? Sounds like the Six Patriarchs Poetry Contest. Isn't this a loser principle? Remember Shen Qiu? He said, at all times wipe it clean, let no dust alight. Well, yeah, but are we at that ultimate point? The fifth patriarch was testing whether the sixth patriarch, who was already awake. Well, we're not. So until we're awake, Shen Qiu's method is a good one. The sixth patriarch, when he wrote his, basically there's not one thing, where could dust alight, he was already on the other side of wisdom. He had transformed consciousness to wisdom. We haven't yet, so busily in there with our Vajra sword. All right. So I want to tell you all about one day in the back of the Buddha Hall. People remember who were there that when we were reciting the Buddha's name before Shifu came out to lecture, we'd finish the Amitabha Sutra and the Mangshan. We'd be walking around the Buddha going, Namo Amitabha, right? And Shifu would sometimes come down and stand, and as we would walk by him. And you didn't want to pay attention to Shifu. If you did, you got scolded. So we would walk by, and one day, I was kind of in the dumps. I was having a lot of affliction, and just as part of cultivation, sometimes it's like that. And Shifu indicated that I should follow him. So he took me out outside the Buddha Hall into the area at CTDB between the lotus pond and the men's side of the Buddha Hall. And he said, Samyang. And I said, oh, Shifu, I'm having trouble. Sometimes, I said, I've been trying to use the wisdom sword, Shifu, the way you talked about it in the Shurangama lectures. And sometimes it just seems so heavy. I just can't lift it. What do you think Shifu said? Let me translate this much. So, 大家有机会听师父讲经的人都会记得，我们晚课做完了，在那绕佛。有的时候师父会下来，他会提早到了，然后我们再绕，就走过去，师父站在那里，就看看我们。你不要动了，你一动了，注意他就会，你都会挨教训，你就自己继续念佛，让师父做自己的他要做的事。好，走过去，那天师父就指挥要我跟着他，我就从南众那里那个门出去了，就到那个靠着这个莲花池那里。师父就说：“果真怎么样啊？”那个时候我总是烦恼深重，就有的就等于什么，好像下雨，那个天气就阴天在心里就偶尔都会有这样子我就说师父，我听师父讲那个智慧宝剑，我要把它用了，可是那个宝剑太重了，师父拿不起来了。我说，那师父怎么说呢？ So I said, 师父, that wisdom sword that you talked about is just so heavy, I can't lift it up. Shifu said, it's only heavy if you don't raise it up. Once you pick it up, it's not heavy at all. It's light. Just swing it, he said. Swing the sword. And people who will remember, if you had the opportunity to be with Shifu, is around Shifu, things were different. Things that seemed impossible were possible, and things that seemed difficult were easy. People who couldn't speak Chinese found themselves speaking Chinese. People who had never imagined memorizing a mantra could memorize mantras like that. Shifu kind of supercharged the air so that whatever wholesome deed you were doing seemed to be easy. But from that time on, when I would recognize these false thoughts, and it's sort of a little bit schizophrenic, it's a little, you split your mind, but in my mind, I visualized myself swinging a sword. And sure enough, the clouds in my mind parted. The confusion in my mind seemed to diminish. And the clarity was brief, but intoxicating. Just so blessed to have a bit of stillness after swinging an imaginary wisdom sword. Yeah, you bet. It's imaginary. But show me false thinking. It's also imaginary. No, it's real, but it's immaterial. You can't find it. You can't point to it or weigh it or sell it or buy it. The wisdom sword is the same. Believe that it's there, swing it, put it to use in transforming false thinking, and by golly, how wonderful. Maybe it's a vacuum cleaner for you. Maybe it's a broom. Maybe it's, flypaper. Maybe it's a sword. Maybe it's a butterfly net. Whatever it might be, swing it. Use it as a tool to prevent those afflicted seeds, fighting greed, seeking selfishness, self-benefit, dishonesty, greed, anger, and delusion. Prevent them from being planted down. And the more you swing that sword, the more you can. So, 师父说果真怎么样啊？我说师父啊，你在讲楞严咒的时候，那个智慧宝剑我要举起来，它太重了，师父，我拿不起来了。他说，你不把它举起来，它才变重了。你一抬起来了，一点都不重了，轻了。他说，你就要把它挥了，就要用它，就对了。哦，师父用了很多精神在那儿教我们用智慧宝剑，我都记得很清楚。那么这个，如果你有机会听师父讲法，在师父旁边，你都会知道，在大善知识的旁边，这个不可能的事情好像可能可以做，那个难做的事情变成容易了，就是好像一股燥气，一股清凉的风在那儿吹。从师父鼓励我这样子继续拿起来智慧宝剑，到现在呢，好像越把它运用，越会运用，越用它那个锋剑越锐，越利越快。所以呢，我就把这个事情告诉大家，你们不喜欢宝剑或者怕这个武器，你就说，我用一个金刚扫把，金刚洗尘机，一个金刚蝴蝶网，这样子就抓住这些邪见、这些妄想、这些正贪求、自私自利、妄语的烦恼心，试试看。The mighty hero holds aloft his wisdom blade. From its brilliant prajna edge comes adamantine flames. Heretics and disbelievers fall to every side. Demons of the heavens look for a place to hide. Alrighty. Now, in the last minute, That's the wisdom sword from 证道歌. Let's see here. Oh, we got some comments here. Good. Heng Sure 非但能摧外道心，不是非但空摧. If you listen to, okay, we got lots of comments here. Let's see how much time. Oh, time's running out. Okay, see what I got here. Okay. So if you listen to Shifu reciting, he says, 早从但空摧外道心. If you play his tape, he says 空. I've seen the your version too. See, 有的人就说那个本来是非当能摧外道心，非当空摧外。师父在念的时候，他就说空了。OK， 我在网上看到梵本是空摧外道心。对啦。OK。Chir in Sanskrit is shamatha, right? Complement to vipassana. Isn't that what I said? I think so. 万佛成的本子是能摧. Okay. 好. So, we know that both are okay. 两个都可以. 好. All right. Let's see. I think the thought of fear of losing livelihood, or fear is not greed, desire. Can we use the wisdom sword for that too? So question. 那个问题是说这个本来佛说有五位五种不畏five kinds of fearlessness 这个就说命畏 is the one that's called fear of losing a livelihood. So can the wisdom sword work for that is the question. And sometimes fear is good. A bodhisattva who gets to the first stage, Di Huanxi Di, the first of 10 stages, doesn't have any of the 5 desires remaining, and he has only happiness. But that's a real bodhisattva. To say that should be our state too, I don't know. I think a wholesome fear of not having an income is reasonable. That's pretty reasonable fear. Will the sword, my understanding is the wisdom sword will get rid of all kinds of afflictions. Sometimes, if you're afraid of a eastern brown snake, so when you see a snake you stop and you back up, that's a wholesome fear. When you see a Sydney funnel web spider, you back up. You don't pick him up and put him in your palm of your hand. That's a wholesome fear. So sometimes these fears are good. What the wisdom sword does is it removes affliction. So if it's wise to be cautious and afraid, then the sword is not the right tool to use. Okay, 那个不好翻. All right, what I wanted to share with everybody was silent mind, holy mind, all is calm, all is bright, deep vipassana thoughts rise and fall, with clear insight detached from them all, sit in heavenly peace, sit and contemplate. Indeed, we're going to run into Christmas next week. We have a few more Christmas carols to share. Want to try it again with me? Silent mind, holy mind, all is calm, all is bright, deep vipassana thoughts rise and fall, with clear insight detached from them all, sit in heavenly peace, sit and contemplate. We could probably say with Vajra swords detached from them all. There we go. That would work too. All right. We have come to the end of tonight's Chan Kai-shi, and the goal is to provide you tools so that as you meditate, you're able to more skillfully deal with the mind. You're able to more efficiently make use of the time, this precious time to meditate that we have. So bit by bit, we're taking the advice of a real Chan master, Yongjia 大师, Yongjia 法师. So 我们已经到了这个长期开始的这个时间已经到了。这个开始呢是要鼓励大家能用这些功夫，用法门来接近三摩地接近自己真正的智慧，究竟了生脱死所以呢，一点比一点把这些法宝跟大家讲一讲。So let's do one recitation of our mantra. COVID is filling hospitals east and west still. So we want to keep this mantra available, keep it fresh. So no matter where we go, we're able to keep our minds wholesome. 这是药师观定真言现在这个疫情 COVID 它就无论东方西方很多人现在患了这个病，所以我们能念药师观定真言了，这个是一个蛮有光明的一个方法，汉传佛教的对治病痛的真正的法宝。好了，我们念了一遍。Here we go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaisajya Guru Vaidurya Prabharaja Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Bhagavata Om Vaisaji Vaisaji Vaisajya Samukate Swaha Okay, before we end, I'm going to invite everyone to bow with me to the Buddhas. Here we are. I'll ring the bell. Here we go. Second bow. Third bow. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. All right, that will do it for us for this week. Tsan, investigate your Huato. Amitofo, everybody. Bye-bye now.
Thank you, 师法师。阿弥陀佛。
Amitofo.